Hey my friend, in this lesson I'm going to show you not one, not two, but 31 beautiful ADD11 chord voicings that you can play everywhere on the fretboard. Before we get started, if you want to get the chord chart of all 31 chord diagrams I'm going to show you in this lesson, you can get it for free. You just have to click on the first link in the description box below or in the comments, and I'm going to send it to you for free to your inbox in a matter of seconds. So let's get started. What is an ADD11 chord? Usually when we play chords, it's made of triads. And the triads are made of the notes 1, 3, and 5. That corresponds to the notes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of our scale, right? So it just means that we are going to add the 11th note of our scale on top of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're going to take the 1, 3, 5 and add the 11 on top, right? And if I play the 11 one octave below, it becomes the 4 of the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's why those chords sound beautiful, because you have 1, 3, 4, 5 in the same chord. And it's the relation between the 3 and the 4 that are just one semitone apart. And if we let them ring together, it creates that beautiful friction. And that is the challenge of finding ADD11 chord voicings, because most of the times, if we want to reach the 4, we will replace the note that's closest to it, but we cannot replace the 3 by the 4 because it's going to create a sus4. We need to have the 3 and the 4 ringing at the same time in the chord, so most of the times we're going to sacrifice the 5 and replace it with the 4. So, without further ado, I'm going to show you all 31 chord shapes. I'm going to start with the movable voicings, and then I'm going to give you many beautiful open voicings. So the first one is on F. That's an F major ADD11, and it's played like this. And if you want to make it minor, you can replace your pinky by your middle finger on the 9th fret of the 2nd string. And the principle is almost always the same here. We're going to take regular bar chords that we know. This is an F bar chord from the 5th string. And then I'm going to replace the 5th of the chord, which is here, by the 4, 2 frets down. And that's how I came up with this voicing. And you can move it everywhere you want. Right? The next one is going to be on B flat, and it's this one. Right? And if you want to make it minor, you replace your ring by the middle. So major, minor. So the same principle here, we're taking the closed position of a D chord. Right? The D chord right here, but if I'm playing it up the fretboard, I have to close the position. And then I'm replacing the 5th by the 4. Right here. Another close position that I like is going to be on A flat ADD11. This time is this one. I love this one. So this time is the closed position of a C shape right here, but if I'm playing it from A flat. But since I have twice the 3rd in the chord, right here and right here, I can afford to choose one and replace it by the 4 instead of sacrificing the 5. So that's why this one works. And it works only in major. There is no practical voicing to play it in minor. And then another one that I love is this one. It's stretchier, that's why I'm playing it up the fretboard like this. So this is an E major ADD11. So since it's an E, you can open the 6th if you want. And if you want to make it minor, it's less stretchy, you can move your pinky 1 fret below. And this one, you can move it everywhere you want. Now let's go to the beautiful open chord shapes. There are so many to see right here. Let's start once again with the open C right here. Like I said, the open position, I can just replace my middle finger by the pinky on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. And this time it's gonna work because I have the 3rd as the open 1st string. So usually I like to have the 4 or the 11th inside the voicing and have the 3rd on top of it, because it creates a major 7 interval. And we are used to hear that, right? Because if we do the opposite, if we keep the 3rd inside the chord and we add the 11th or the 4 on top, it would make a chord like this. I like a chord like this a lot less because now it creates a flat 9 interval between the 3 and the 4. And it sounds harsh. It's not as smooth as this one. It's still like a big dissonance, but this one, it's too much to bear for me. So this is an example of a voicing that I don't like, but it's still valid. It is still a ADD11 chord. So we could do that from a G also. We could play something like this. So in that case, this is a super low voicing of an ADD11, but it still works. Because if you open the second, that's gonna create like this. But I like it more when you have the friction, when the 3 and the 4 are really, really close together. So my favorite version of a G major ADD11 is gonna be like this instead. So it's stretchier, it's not as comfortable, but now you have the 3 and the 4. And I love this friction, but it's actually easier to play in minor. That's my favorite one right here. So you have to bring the 4th fret to the 3rd fret on the 3rd string. So you might like to play this one better. So that's a G minor ADD11 right here. Another cool one is a B ADD11 in open position. So you take your B bar chord and you just lift the bar to have the first 2 open strings. And that is a B ADD11. The 11 is gonna be the first string open. And then you have the 3rd. And if you want to play it minor, you can take your index and replace the middle finger by the index and wrap your thumb around it to play the low B. Like this, like Hendrix did. And it's gonna work from F sharp also, right? If you play this and you lift it, that is what I call the Alex Lifeson of the band Rush. That's a chord he used a lot, and you can, if you want, open the first string. I did not add it in the little chord diagram here because it's going to create a slightly different chord. It's going to become an F sharp dominant 7 with an added 11. So it's a different flavor. It's not a strict ADD11, but that works too. And once again, if you want to play it minor, it's the same principle. You wrap your thumb around. So I like to use those ADD11 minor chords like these. Let's say like the B minor ADD11. And then an F sharp, like this, and then E. Like. I think it sounds great in that sequence right here. Let's see some other cool positions. These ones are gonna be all on D. There are so many great chords that we can create from D because we can take the open D string and do some other voicing. So my favorite is this one, because of the friction once again. So it's the same thing as the G, the complicated one, but it's gonna be easier because now instead of playing a big G at the bottom or a big D, I'm gonna play it open 4th and the minor version. You can do that also with the voicing, remember, the one I played on E. You can just play it 2 frets below and you can remove, actually, your middle finger or replace it to have a more comfortable voicing with the open D string. Like this. And minor. 1 fret below on the first string. So it's just different flavors of it. This one has the really close friction. And this one has the major 7 interval I talked about. So it's different ways to do the same thing. Then you have a really popular one. It's the C shape, but you just go 2 frets higher and you play it like this. Because now the open third is the add 11 of G. So that works like this. Another way to do it is to play your D major spread triad and open the third. So it's 2 ways to play a beautiful D major add 11. And then I have other movable chord shapes, but with a few open strings also. You cannot play them on all chords, but that's gonna work for those ones. So this one is on C. So the principle for this one is that if I take a C triad regularly like this, the note in the middle is E. I have C, E, G, and the E is also the same as an open string. So I'm just going to replace this by this one, and then that frees up my third string where I can add the 4 or the 11. And if you want, on this one, you can wrap your thumb also to play a bigger chord and have the low C at the bottom, right? And if I shift it 1 fret higher, it's going to create a C sharp chord. But it's going to be a C sharp minor because now the open string is 1 semitone lower since we closed the gap, right? So you can play C major add 11 and then C sharp minor add 11. And you can do the same principle with the open second string. So that would be a G chord this time. Like this. And you could open the first string if you want. But once again, it's going to add something extra on top. It's going to be an added 13. And the same principle, you can go 1 fret higher. It's going to create an A flat minor add 11. So it makes me think of a song by Pagan's Mind, if ever you know that band. So I find it really cool. It sounds modal. It sounds like there's a chromaticism. It's really cool to play it one after another. You could do it with your F sharp triad also. So if you start from F sharp and you build your triad and you open the second, that's going to create that little add 11 friction. And once again, if you want to play it minor, you can replace the ring by the middle finger. Another one that's super cool is to play on B. Right here, you play your B bar chord from the 5th string and you open the bar and you play the first like this. It's used in a lot of pop songs actually. So it's really cool to use this one with and like swap your index and your middle finger like this. And it creates a C sharp minor chord and then even an A. So I love to use the B version this way right here. Then you have the E flat chord. Sometimes we don't think about it because we don't play an E flat a lot on guitar. But if I play my E flat on the 6th fret of the 5th string and I open the 3rd like this, it creates just a major 3rd interval, 2 to 1 3. So it means that it frees up space to add my add 11 just here, and I can complete the chord in this way. So it's only gonna work on E flat, but it's still a really cool voicing. And for the 31st voicing, we are at the last one. It's a big challenge and I'm posing to you. So if you want a big challenge, here's a big chord. We're gonna take the shape of the E here, but I'm gonna play it from B flat, which is already really stretchy. And we're gonna add the big B flat power chord at the bottom to create the larger than life voicing. So for that, you have to bar the 8th fret with your middle finger from the 5th to the 3rd string. and you still have to be able to play the second string. So that's gonna be super tricky, and then you need to bar the whole thing and add your pinky. If that's too difficult, you could bar only the 5th and the 4th string and take your ring finger to help you on the 3rd string, and then bar, and then add the pinky. It sounds super big. If you want, you could have put a capo on the 6th fret too, but it's just to give you a big challenge. There you go, all 31 ADD11 chord shapes. Once again, if you want the full chart and you want to keep it for future reference, I'm offering it for free. You only have to click on the first link in the description box below or in the comments, and then I'm gonna send it to your inbox really soon, and you can keep it. It's my pleasure, it's my gift to you for watching my videos. So if you like what I do, you can subscribe to my channel and then click on the little notification bell, and I'm gonna see you real soon on a new video. Until next time, au revoir.